Social media. They're everywhere. Us teenagers spend an average of about 8 hours looking at a screen every day, and about 3 hours of that consists out of social media. Now, what would happen if those 3 hours a day would be spent on something else? I'm going to spend the upcoming week keeping track of how I spend my time while not using any social media. This includes the following. I can't use any social media. This includes TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. The 3 hours that teens normally spend on social media have to be used on some kind of project. Now, my most used social media platforms are YouTube and TikTok, averaging at around 1 hour and 1.5 hours respectively. Next to platforms used for texting, I don't really use social media all that much. So, to make it a little harder for me personally, I'm also adding a 1 hour cap on multiplayer games and a 1 episode cap on watching series or movies a day. A detailed list of all the rules is in the description if this was hard to follow. Already, the very start of the day is different. Normally, you grab your phone, you check your text, watch some TikToks. Not this time. You make some breakfast and eat while looking at your phone. Nope. It already makes you wonder how much you actually spend on that tiny screen. From 9 to 3 I was busy with some private stuff, but I will say, not looking at your phone a single time during the day felt very off. When I got home, I made a little folder for all my social media so I don't click it as fast. After that, I started working on the project.
Why are you saying it like that? It's not that dramatic. Subscribe.
I have this huge roll of paper and I wanted to make a sick drawing in the coming week. And I'm a nerd, so I looked at my anime list and made a list of all the characters I wanted to put on this huge sheet. And then I started drawing. Please keep in mind that I'm not like a professional drawer or anything, I just enjoy doing it, so don't expect too much, but I'm gonna try to make it look good. In the center of it all, I wanted my own avatar, so that's what I started on, and at the end of the day, I had a pretty good version of myself. Except for little arms, they're a little too small, On day 2, I had work in the morning, so I didn't even have a lot of time to try to be on social media until 2 PM. But during work, I did notice how even during breaks, all my friends were using their phones to use social media or play a game. It's like they're there, but they're not fully present. I spent the rest of the day editing and working on the drawing, of course. Next to that, nothing too noticeable today. Oh yeah, that gets better, trust me. On day 3, it really hit me how much 3 hours every day actually is. On this day, I had work, a soccer match, and in the evening, I went out with some friends. With these 3 activities planned, I was only able to get 1.5 hours of drawing in. The problem is that we can pull out our phones everywhere at every second we want, but I can only work on my drawing when I'm home. Filling up 3 hours like that is not as easy as it might seem. I did manage to improve Tanjiro though, so that gets better, trust me. Promise delivered. Remember when I said I was going out with friends? Yeah, I was pretty tired the next day. On days like these, I really feel the limit that I put on gaming and watching series. Normally, I waste a lot of time just mindlessly looking at YouTube or TikTok, but not being able to use that made me way more productive. I ended up just drawing or doing some chores the whole day. And this was a very remarkable thing to see. I traded the time that I usually spend chilling on doing something useful. And this concept kind of repeated itself the next day. Day 4 and 5 were the only days where I didn't have any appointments. While I spent most of my time drawing on day 4, I made some huge strides working on this video on day 5. I was being productive, but I watched 2 episodes instead of 1. And played way more games on my phone than previously. Things were looking a bit worse. While drawing, I realized that Eren Yeager is a little bit... I mean, he's really hard to draw. The 3D maneuver gear movement is hard to picture, and since I'm a perfectionist, I couldn't make too much progress on him. Day 6 was packed with a full day of work. 9 to 5, making dough. Is what I thought. Cause it got cancelled. Cause of shitty weather. We saw that I started to slip a bit on day 5, but I picked myself back up on day 6. No rules broken. I had a similar day to day 4. Productive, not too much progress on the drawing, but still pretty good. And then the last day arrived, and I did not end this thing too well. One episode too much, more mobile games, but surprisingly, not less productive. I had a vaccination in the afternoon and a soccer training in the evening, but I had the resolve to end this thing with a bang and spent almost all of my time around these appointments drawing. And so, after 1.5 pencil, an entire eraser, and about 20 hours of my time, this is what I drew. Some of you might be a little disappointed, but I'm a slow drawer and I love how this looks so far. So I'm actually really proud of myself for doing this. As you might notice, the drawing is far from done though, so if you want me to post a picture every now and then to show you how the drawing is looking, let me know, I'd love to share with you. So the challenge has been over for a bit now, but I haven't really talked about all the thoughts or consequences that this challenge brought to me. So I want to go over a few points. And the first one's a little sad because it's called loneliness. Nowadays everyone uses TikTok and texting to reach everything in like 0.2 seconds. And if you're the only one that's not using that, you can start to feel a bit lonely. And that's something inevitable if you don't use your phone or social media at all. I myself barely talk to anyone because I couldn't text them, and that makes you feel lonely. I know the feeling pretty well. And that's honestly the main point that's negative, because I also found out that your phone is a waste of time. A lot of it is just useless. Without the socials, your phone doesn't have a lot to offer. Spotify was the only thing I used a ton, and that was everything. Like, look at how my screen time plummeted. It's so low. Nowadays, we're just stuck to our screens, spending 6 hours a day, if not more, on our phones, and it doesn't give you anything. It's pretty meaningless. Now, I will say, I don't blame you. It's really hard, and I fell right back into bad habits as well. You can see my screen time right here. It went right back up, and I understand. These apps are designed to keep you glued to your phone for as long as possible, and it is not easy. But the message I want to give you in this video is, try to lower it. If it's even 30 minutes a day, maybe 15. Try to do something that's different. Go out with some friends, go outside. Create something. Make something that you're proud of. Because in the end, that's everything that I'm doing right now. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have an amazing day.